let's zoom straight into the issue. No. Honorable Chancellor, I to say there are a lot of things that Yabuya near goes to say, oh, said Pimpy, no, ya na quite to say, oh, yan tree boat, oh, we will get there, you know, and kakra, your friend is saying, oh, ye be drew ho, and near my be a you know, yan and kakra, and ye be any good near. Yet 81 million. 81 million US dollars. Bear 1 billion. Thanks. Say the quackwatch vaccines. Deliver. Yante one sem. Say Obia teho. Oko sesia. Obi bema. Obi be explanation. Be a basis so pepe. And so the internet.
Yeah, me that's it. Mami fa konya wensu na yenchia. Yahwefo. Na minchia me former colleague and a senior because me kotono and I mean na so na free ho na minchia yahwefo na ema ya nyina ho afishapa so na odi kan no mamembo auditor general baso for the good work all year, and this same auditor general na the previous auditor general no ekoye no who be assembly and a political party person who is coming to do the build of the government and all those things. But it has come to reality say there will be echo to baby on call your friend is saying the bid of whoever gives him or her the opportunity. But it's going to do the bid of the country, not as serving and good for the purpose of all of us. So we share the reports now. I've not had the privilege to go through the report daily, but what is going on in the social media and in the papers today, you know, Eba say during COVID time, you know, you to indro na you to, you know, it worth 81 million dollars. Now out of this 81 million dollars, no, near Omodi Abano is equivalent to about 30-something million dollars. So meaning that about $50 million there, no, and the end by. So the question that we need to ask ourselves, are the vaccines coming in chances? Say deba eno ebia ye about 20% or 30% of the vaccines. We shouldn't forget say vaccines nso deba no drew a lifespan as I say etumidi. Say as I say do 1 month and 2 months. Now the vaccines ni na so eba. At the end of the day, if you are not able to use all the vaccines, it become a financial loss to the state because at the end of the day, you know, na ya boka. So what other air can say? Say ukoto adie $81 million. Na say out of the 81, no, one year 31 and 30 50 na akano. Now that's ABA on for a droning by, you know. The only thing that you need to do is to get the money back and put to maybe a fast kind of every year. For me, I think that is something that the Ministry of Health to me push it to ensure say you bet me anya yesikano back. But ubesha buying in the next before during COVID, you ma Johnson for MI vaccines.
Oh yeah, no, just said between rights perspective. Sikana yetua no ma your friend is saying United Nations UNICEF for vaccine no 120 million US dollars.
Okay.
Emu 38 million US dollars. Okay. Ena yetimi enya ho akade. Okay. Emu 81. Okay. And I say over 80 million. So what we are talking difference I can want some year. 81 million US dollars, okay, and not 50 million US dollars.
Right. So if it is 81, it's the same analysis that I'm doing. Yeah. Say 120, Yamamu 30, Aka 81. UNICEF, your friend is saying, an ordinary organization that is not being respected in the world. This is a very respected organization. When it comes to health related issues. So it's a matter of me. The only thing I am happy about is that UNICEF have not come to deny and say, "I buy into a second man." Unlike Ebeka Sylvia, I buy a fasasika way, but it has not gone to the person that or the institution. You say, yeah, to a drainer then, if you're UNICEF is a very big organization, recognized in the world, believing, say, if that money has been paid to them, there's no way they will come and say the money has not been paid.
Honorable, unfortunately, you come across as say, oh, behave to say you're too comfortable and we should accept it.
No, I'm not saying that.
You're too comfortable. Say, and you might be no more. I had to say, oh, you know, say si can't right. Say in baby, oh, sa niama no, say oh, cannot no, sa niama ni bina akofasa de we
no.
Oh, you be samia. Oh, me there sami there meeting baby. Say chief director be to the baby I relax say na say sika na megu mi bottom. That is not what we are talking about. Actions and inactions. You're too comfortable. You behave to say asema to yen. Oh, to say asema to yen na pe say ye here frame. That's the problem. Problem pa
I'm not saying say I am comfortable with the situation, because if the vaccines have to come, it will be benefit to all of us. These vaccines, no. Your friend is saying, it has cost a lot of people. People's life has been lost. So I'll not come and sit here and say, oh, let me clap my hands, so the money is there, and therefore, no. What I'm saying is, UNICEF is a very recognized organization. At the end of the day, money has been paid to them. It has been confirmed that Sikano edi amom. But yes, so no, omu for vaccines no edi embaye. Apart from retrieving the money from UNICEF, what other sanctions are edaho edima or more who are responsible to do A, B, C, and D? Because say your first sanctions no so and to her, and we are saying we are going to take the money. Look at the number of months and number of years the money has been with UNICEF. Are they going to pay us with interest or not? If they're not going to pay us with interest, what are we going to do? We are going to what was the friend
within the system? No, could it be checked? Say certain queries have been raised.
Exactly.
And what who says somebody has been monitoring what is going on?
And a war between UNICEF and the Ministry of Health. Are you supposed to deliver the vaccines in a month, in 2 months, in 3 months? What were the modalities I did to her? Ebia, Umaye said, COVID was 2019-2020. It was so heavy in 2020. At that time, are you supposed to give us the vaccines within every month, within every 2 months? And if within every month or every 2 months, what's one to be on bar? What was the crosser, the agreement between the ministry, any your friend is saying, UNICEF agreement been on war? If there was an agreement, say, you are supposed to provide us A, B, C, and D, and you fail to do it. What are the sanctions? Me as an organization, what are the sanctions? Ministry nisumunya. Omonswa na eye omo responsibility. Say, so much say, A, B, C, and D. What sanction are we also giving to them? I agree perfectly with you, say see a bit nonsense. I can say, oh, the money is there, we are taking the money, and blah blah blah. At the end of the day, no, we won't get anywhere. One thing I also want to say is, we also not to do politics with it, because that's one thing. It is affecting us as a country. We'll try to be NDC, MPP, CPP, PNC.
This is chief director,
exactly.
Not the baby.
And I can tell you, say, you go to some ministry, departments, and agencies. Something goes on that at the end of the day, even the minister is not even aware. The minister gives instructions. You can see a chief director saying, say, no, we should do this. But the minister also say, or the minister. So what are the sanctions? Then able to me are yet to make sure say we deal with some of these issues. Other than that, we'll continue as a country to be throwing our money, and then we'll go back to the same people and be begging them for money. For me, I think, say, there should be a proper, your friend is saying, investigation into this matter, irrespective of Auditor General report or the other. We should go beyond their report. And that's one thing I always say, maybe it's the Public Accounts Committee. Last week, I was following their proceedings in Parliament. And some of the things, some of the ministries and department agencies, and in some of this, I asked myself, So can't we go beyond your friend saying near air cost because at the end of the day, no, the person comes and say, or see a bit here, or see a bit here, or say, Obi Oha, say a friend is saying, so Tias can be about $30,000 a day, or so, Mumam is this time. It has taken about 2 years. Meanwhile, no, the accountant at the ministry now in question, no, have been giving you a timeline. The person is going to pay at his own comfort. I mean, this is one of the things that we need to look at. But it's because we always do partisan in everything that we do. We don't get the right results. Because at the end of the day, it's being perceived to be an NDC person, it's being perceived to be an MPP person, and therefore we can't crucify him. I simply don't get it.
All right, whatever comes to I say, raised $2.5 billion US, 21 billion Ghana cedis. Emu 25%. As he resists, can purposely say, yeah, they be solve COVID problem, and they be solve COVID problem. Emu 75% ni amfanya COVID amfanya health just 25% and you should be health related with it.
COVID time. It affected everything. COVID. Minim their COVID in 2019, 2020, and later part in 2020, early 2021. Minim their COVID and to me are affected. COVID affected our health sector, our education sector. COVID affects our friends and development. COVID affects every aspect of our life in this country. So if your friend is saying we have gone into a situation, you shouldn't forget, say, even when your work COVID time, workers are being paid. Even though your work COVID time, we're able to provide food for people. Obi will hire so much them. How can a person survive? So definitely, there are other avenues that government will also try to support in one way or the other. Nanka, I say COVID is sky I say for health related issues. That is where I think say your friend is saying we might have a challenge. But in this case,
I never quite breaking my heart, and it looks like I had to say, me born person and couple home, many emotions in free. Who say, the me ya parkers and say, even the shed I hear say I'm fan, 25% no more crampono. A business 81 million. Yabu and Yagusun, time be ye my use ye this camera say you use at your own discretion. These are some of the things that happen. They shared that year say Franco talk COVID the do already you could see. Into the 75% now I can dear Jean able say, oh, COVID affected other sectors of the economy. And to non-crof yen shadani laid down honorable.
Yeah. COVID affected other sectors of the economy. I don't think, say, if COVID affected education, and so therefore, in respect of our raising of our funds, we'll say so because purposely for health, let's leave education out. And you can see, say,
that's kind of bad and you're home for 4 years, you say,
you see,
you're home for 4 years. Who's a COVID home? Sick a man son or so pa. Yeah, chase a man soon, yeah, from minister, but church him to mean church him to a metrim, I am can to my baby trim to their support to shortfalls of one and in Chirimu baby 19 billion to 21 billion. Issues to baby. You sit down and you ask yourself, say, "Nti pass IMF I'm managing economy and my do we have managers of the economy in our part of the world? Say, IMF pa binkrophobia and flamanone. I'm a transfer and fat sepo and shayen and yanyo muse so pa. Do we really have people who can sit down to think, say, the economy say?"
I don't think say I don't
so
think
heartbreaking.
I don't think say IMF and I bet to me actually and I bet to me I and they to me I bet to me aboy.
Honorable 5 years in here. For emu be say 17 times. The baku bi omo ba no so omo di 2 years kura. 64 years in here. You call independence. IMF 18 times. We can 18 me boy.
17.
We can hold 17 times. It is a crowd of Fibia cry. 17 free system. About how more managing Ghana my independence in Yanko. Ya boy, black man to me managing your own affairs. You're disappointed. Just you see, we have opportunity to redeem ourselves. We still have the opportunity to redeem ourselves. Yes, sir.
We have the opportunity to redeem ourselves. And the opportunities are there for us to redeem ourselves. And that's why Maker said, it is the collective decision of all of us, without partisan into the decision that will be taken. But our mentality and our attitude is always about politics. We make sure we bring politics in every issue that we find ourselves. And everything that comes out, we try to read politics into it. When we read politics into some of these things, it will be extremely difficult for us to get to a destination that we want to. Because, we'll put our political colors aside, whether the person is an MPP or NEC. So your MPP, exactly. The person will continue to do what he's doing. Because at the end of the day, his party or her party will protect him or her. At the end of the day, we are or party or best supporting. But if we will say it just as it is, Minister for Health, what you did is wrong. This and this and this. And you have MPP people trying to make sure, say, no, he needs to be dealt with. I think it will be good. If NDC will say, no, this and this and this, let's deal with the issue. But when it becomes NDC, MPP, and I keep on saying, look, one of the things that is affecting us as a country, IAT, what you always say, is about NDC and MPP in everything that we do. To be honest with you, if it is good, we take credit. If it is bad, we associate it to a political party. That is what is affecting us. But we must say it just as it is and deal with the issue irrespective of the person. When we are able to deal with the person irrespective of the person there, I think it will help us. But the moment we look at the political colors of it and solve the issue, it will not go anywhere. That's why I'm saying that, look, the Ministry of Health, even though the Auditor General Eddie Abbas said, go and retrieve this money, we should not just go and retrieve the money, but those that are involved in the matter should also be dealt with. If there is no proper agreement between OMO and the UNICEF, but if there's a proper agreement, so this was agreement between the Ministry of Health, who represented government. Any your friend is saying UNICEF, as I say A, B, C, and D. Say, Chief Director and Minister, your responsibility is to have a day-to-day conversation with the UNICEF for why has it cost us this?
The agreement assurance when you transfer 120 million.
That's what I'm saying. So all these things, there should be a proof from the ministry. Should it be say ministry is it an emergency? Say do you get a parliamentary approval? What are we supposed to do? We need to look at the in and out of it. Other than that, you're being to politics, and it will not get
to. Honorable Shama.
Me fa kwanya so acha hwe for the team for the ene me ma official pa
afin come back to you.
Ato, what we are discussing this morning, this is a report that was directed by the Speaker of Parliament after Ken Oforiatta have gotten to the floor of the House to render the COVID accounts, and members says no, the accounts were not clear. You remember His Excellency gave us some figure, the money spent, then the Minister of Finance gave, then the Vice President gave figures, and all these figures were different. Until I say, people raised their eyebrows. The same way we are not going to leave it for pastors. And with our president leaving everything to the hands of pastors, that is where we have gotten to where we are. Pastors pray using Bible, calling on God. Government use figures, economic figures, statistics. You release amount, how you monitor or how you implement your policies. That side, we don't have pastors there. But it's not Surprising. Today you see pastors who want to be politicians at the same time. So they are acting both. So my brother, now, this is a political issue and must be dealt with politicians, and professionals must come in as referees. That is what it is. MPP for more dibonia, we have a way they politics. This is politics. Dr. Jimameno onye politician, onye MP. These are the people who have, you see, NDC, Esha, Se, Kasemwe. The way these people are managing this economy is not good. Oh, you are NDC people. You are this. This is where we have gotten to. You ask a question. If you went and take about 11.7 billion, and you took 10 billion to support your budget, do you use it on COVID? Now the informations are coming out for Ghanaians to see that it is not that NDC for no, yes sir, hey, MPP. The people were not performing. MPP is a no plan party. They get the money omutunu kusa to show hinia tiasi jom no oye ni sase, and we all lost money.
What you were saying was that I was saying MPP for including on one kasa. You see, because the back stops with the government of the day. Until it's Ankoswa, Obia Fana Nuntum, non Casa deal with say, of course, because Auditor General Akan or say Chief Director. The Chief Director is not a politician.
The
Chief Director is not a politician. Until Bibi Baswa, not say Akan, the whole country, young singing in unison, young Casa deal with say, it is affecting young Yadachi. Before, politics, baby. That is what is.
Same way in that African Nkrumah. Ye kakra say, one of them so corrupt in this country are the civil servants, not politicians, who have shelf life. Shelf life
evidence abound.
4 years now I call, and 8 years now I call. They are not the people who will. And so when you get the power as a political party, know the devils within.
Yes.
And develop strategy to minimize their actions and acts that will be detrimental to your governance. Because yes, right now are you going to mention NDC? No. But the civil servants, they are still there. If government change, they are still there. But at a point in time that you are a government party, know that any money that you take, whether from outside, from inside as loan, will be put on your head. So you must know how you disburse this money.
So
yes. Yes. If today you have slept, the MPP have slept so much for all this messy recklessness to happen, the politicians must talk. So that when I talk, I am making a commitment to the people who are listening. Say na no ka say MPP fire say nti nda uzu bedura e be hwe say why no. That is why we have to be talking. Our talking are committing us to bind us on a social contract with the people. If we decide not to talk,
the only thing is that you don't care. Awunya power area, you don't care.
But you see,
that's our observation. I'm not saying war.
Yeah,
in particular.
No,
I'm talking about politicians.
What it is that
more commitment, I'm criticize. When you get the opportunity, now
Ghana we put everything into one basket. It is time we take pen and paper. I buy we buy Busian send or boy. Ghanaians must do that. That is why.
I would say check it. So
yes, now so that you don't say that everybody is the same.
That is what you can't do in a moody. Baby, the chair.
No. Once
be the chair, be
it. You see, and yet, do get me right, sir. In Kabanko Gilona, it is not about D.
Anyway,
because you have a reason for going for that loan.
Or call parliament.
Yes, immediately D Burma. Then you know that you are no more governing. You are becoming self-centered. You're doing what you want to do. And that is what brings about the recklessness that we are in today. So, if you want to go into government to work, nipa bia did you, but you must say that yes, at the end of the day, Ghana for be born Mama will say, you have created opportunity for the youths and those who
opportunities, baby.
When you
the
go,
there cannot be out of the equation.
What I'm saying is that I agree. Listen, no, listen. What I'm saying is that there is nowhere who could Gilona who be say abai chiches canoa or see where you debate.
Anyway,
you will never see that because you are there and you are taking salary. Do you get me right? But if along the line you become a participant in the implementation of that policy, maybe they will give you fuel allowance. Maybe they will give you night allowance. That one, it is not in the loan agreement. Say, when you take this money, go and chop it. Not at all. But the MPP have slept over all these things. Look, Ken Oforiatta Edini report co parliament. Did you see all these things inside? No. You didn't see that. Wako COVID sikabe breben wakanu trabe 30 minutes no koi.
One uncle what's Oma or don't we have internal auditors?
We have. So he didn't, as a finance minister, who is to monitor finances through the internal, external auditors, wada or no one agenda. That is why we are seeing these things. Nipanada, senkonda ya. You should sit up and say, come on, these monies that are coming, we'll be accounting for them tomorrow.
Because
now, internal auditors.
Finance minister, no. Obeji brief in a free health ministry.
Yes.
The health ministry did a briefing Ebrena.
Yeah.
And no be presented the AMA parliament.
Yes, and so
Kana ye koji ye no. Say quite say near their faso. Until count how much we have spent on the fight against COVID-19. It will include the 120 million as given to him by the Ministry of Health.
Yeah,
but what I'm asking is your internal auditors who are aware, who should be aware that out of the 120 million, 38 million pen a home draba. Inti nka obeka ho asemakyere ye parliament no. Na nka wa factor ni omu and I say wa ma home pupu ya ansa na bia auditor general kra aba. But usanko for we nyina so mo ye den.
No, it is the problem of the finance minister Mama Nkyerɛw. Say uti ejuma bi if you are managing a business. One will say sikabi ba boom say you, the person who is to manage the finances, what you strike your mind, say, there will be a possibility of leakages. Yes. Now, how do I check these people? So, ask them to bring you weekly report. Do you get me right? But, say, and then you don't check them weekly. I work with a company that every weekend, the report must be there. You meet your bosses.
Ambulances.
Yeah.
Over 600 and something thousand. I said they called ambulance no money deliver. Cars and I feel no more manufacture. Now I say
so
I feel no more fittings.
When I friend incompetence. Incompetence no ye kasem na enu ni o. Because, you know, Nientia Eye Binumuya, and as will be catching me say, Maminka, politicians should live or not live in this. These people told Ghanaians, they build a very strong social contract, say, they are competent, they have the men, they are coming to do a good job. Now, why should you, only Mr. Jimamenu, and I to force your court because of ambulance. And I want Kasa Jimamenu, and Kasa woman, so what, or that would you no crown ambao? Amba, Obidia Banu. Almost in your money. Would you know order until this time and buy it? So between these two people, who is competent or incompetent? So these are some of the things that media report to no anyaba. Court has become it is a speaker cry or other over here we cry on yanka report no cry report no here discussing that. So you realize that things that have been mentioned in this report. You take 10 billion at a point, me can be 10 billion to support the budget. You get to that? Out of 11.7 billion, 10 billion to support the in 2020. So what does that tell? If I tell you that they use that money for political campaign, will you believe today? Because they say, oh, na COVID, and they can look into our face and tell us that say NDC miba, say NDC for miba.
Akunta never how. Until so bibebu akunta I'm here who say apart from so I can say oh yeah the BC show up revenue shortfalls. Now I can say the show up revenue shortfalls no. The way. So one come and to assume obi to be koka say o the year campaign I mean to me so no.
I am not saying emphatically. Mrs. Samika say
no what
because what has happened.
Same wavelength. Maybe I want to say one to me and tell me the this can here. No be obi conjecture say osusu so the year campaign
yeah, okay. So you realize that no san semini nyina bae no NPP for to be hwen this if any say mutan kra de nkane besi wo krom ha. How much did you spend? Per this book say no. How much did you spend? Enye dede we na yeye. Enye dede we ayeye kire NPP for say sika no mu di sika no mu fa anye covid no mu di dada. Nana no mu di sika no we a no mu say afa ye ntina en koye campaign. And today this is what the report is saying. 10 billion ye di ko support budget. And now one Ebradi Nyankopo. Pato. Ghana for ye de yesrem. Ye nyina ye jejereje. Baby MPP for the year kono. Say omu ba some be scam ye. Ana edwuma no mu nim no ma dada ye. Ye nyina ye jejereje because this is so pathetic. Say onipa be kwa akobo busian. Busian kasa onim se ubetua ho ka. Ya mfa sika no amfa nchew. Ena wa ye sika no troka. Ineni esi ye pato. Enuntina mesre the Minister of Finance. He should sit in a quiet space. Non drio mind because ebetumi aba se pato. Emre bi betumi aba no ukita wo ATM card udi ko sha fide no ma. Sika mba wo. Ehọ na obehu se asemansi. Wa wo sika wo account mu. Ukita ATM card. ATM card no nye 40. Udi she machine no ma. U press ya. Sika asan. Sika no amba. So we should not pray to get to that level. It will be very disastrous because imrantie betiagu abontin so and that will become a security risk. And pay me by media Voice of America. What are they saying about Africa? This year there will be shortage of food. So we need to prepare ourselves right now. Issues are ye pleading with the Minister of Finance. Semu yenu. Don't tell us you are cutting the expenditures, this and this and this and that. Close some of the ministries. Ask some of the appointees, plead with them to go and stay in the house so that we don't see this salary payment every month. I don't hate them, but because where we are all driving to, true. Because utria obinumuka, the impact is not being felt by the economy. Why do you continue paying these people? But you want to take the individuals, individual bondholders, or musikano. Now they are so they are tiawono mojuma and soini. What are we doing to ourselves? I am pleading with him. Where there's a say, and your politics are not bibiao, he should sit down and then think about his what? Regime and a period I'll be Minister of Finance. Send a man for kasa or say you're competent, you know. Figures are here, say, and a situation I own, and when I friend competent.
All right.
So we don't want to descend into the abyss.
Okay.
Ebi obe kose ko yi usika no. Who discard no share wasikamba.
Yeah, no, so we pray we don't get to that point.
Yes, that is what we are praying because okay.
All right. Honorable, Obeka Kakao, not an uncle called a friend in Krobias Technical Institute for
Pato. Just as I said from the beginning, say, for me, I still stand by my point. Say, at the moment we try to do politics with the issues, the relevance, no,
we'll pass through our fingers.
And I agree with Honorable Asham when he talked about the technocrats in our various ministry departments and agencies. But at the end of the day, Usha, since I started doing politics, my follow from 96 up to date, no. You realize that always those who get the public backlash and get prosecuted, upa check it from NDC administration, MPP first time, up to and now middle say, all those that are munya public bash, nanko for exercise is the politicians because they give the authority. But at the end of the day, the work is being done at the ministry, which is being headed by the technocrats. Ubekom, no. There are some of the look. I remember President Mos, may he so rest in peace, about this Asoto phones or whatever it should be a buyer, when they had given instructions that they shouldn't pay money. At the end of the day, the chief director, and I told you that mine, the chief director went ahead and paid. Recently, Honorable Atachia came to say the same thing on your friend SARS agreement project. He said, when instruction has been given by him, said no money should be paid. No, the chief director went ahead and paid. At the end of the day, why na na ni na see your friend say abenya so ye kan ho asem. It's about
the chief director. No, that is why it's a government. That's why you have an attorney general. That's why Emrawo no. Intino said they attach aka no. Na the chief director no etiamra basically yate.
That's what I'm saying. So at the end of the day, no, we need to deal with some of these people and not only the politicians.
And you know
because
what?
You see,
the Amaya drink. The Amaya drink at drink say because money or more a play ball, no, you know. Wouldn't even kind of crunch round.
Well, that will be perception.
Because mobile no match round baby and two cruda. Because don't say honorable hand
that's a perception. And I agree with the perception because of the refusal to deal with the people. But if the person is being dealt with that, the perception out there, no, best. But because the person is obeying the freedom, I had the person, no. And you see, the most painful thing is say you're punishing the pakuna, you're moving it from one ministry to another ministry. And that you will be someone who say, no, ministry A, no. The year no ministry A no is it not going to do the same thing at the ministry B and so sometimes we also need to look at the technocrats no omwejuma omoye ya key. That's why Mimi said, look, let's go beyond retrieving the money from UNICEF and let's come back home and deal with the issue irrespective of political way be attached to.
And I say be a politician is through say dealing with the technocrats no the Tobetiana.
But if we a politician, now we say what you find out. We say what you find out. The Jumana. Now we say me fact here. What anything so usuru. Unless as you said,
until America say krata bi wo ha bit me trace here unu say Adwene Pa manu atro krata command chief director about asking him about you know a friend is saying 81 million no supplies na MI no. O say ehunu. Yes,
that is why I agree with you. Say, so one to me and uni ni pakono enya jishe kana na bia dia. There's no way for you to deal with the person unless there's a connection between you and the person. But if unu will agree find out the running the ministry, na ni pakona ya dia. And just as you are saying, if I've directed you to do A, B, C, and D, I've asked you say vaccines no ache, ambulance no ache. Chief Director, write to the appropriate authority. Asking themselves, you gave us a timeline of bringing the vessels. You gave us a timeline of bringing the ambulances. It is long overdue. You write to Attorney General Department. We went into agreement with this institution. They are supposed to do A, B, C, and D. Time no HM. Please, can you write on our behalf? Because and I know, say every ministry have a legal department. Ministry be any legal department. If it is beyond, DEMA. It goes to Attorney General Department. Yeah. Attorney General, deal with the issue. It's as simple as that.
What's he saying?
Chief directors, some are very meticulous and they are working in the interest of the nation. Civil servants because assembly I was a member of parliament. These civil servants, they work under the pressure of their ministers. Sometimes they work under the pressures of their ministers. And the minister will tell you that this is what we get from cabinet. You get me right? The whole thing is, it is not always.
Idea. So it's more than a being touching, you know.
Yes,
so
in this is
a chief director. Our mandate. Now, just to now the say so of a minister. Obaho for just 4 years and 8 years maximum. Which kind of chief director are you?
Well,
you know what to do, wouldn't you? You have been trained.
Yes.
And then you leave that to do the same of a friend.
Ehona attach asembeba. Wow. A time attach was so surprised say chief director Tuasikano. Maybe by that chief director no onimini oye. And one of his question is till today, why didn't that issue come up? That idea chief director no ye no enye. Yes. And now Minister of Health susu Nyama yi nyambaye. Wankasa what signing and you know yes. But I will not blame the Minister of Health. On Wankasa catcher of Parliament say, oh yeah, winning and not dream now. Also not doing now, but the president is still keeping him there. Obia to be you know. Not doing it.
So no guy. No
when parliament decide me tea, not doing it. But the president should use that to ask him, okay, so what doing it? Why did you say
Did he say